Hello, and welcome to Footy Truths. In today's video, we will be discussing the bizarre rise and fall of Anzhi Makhachkala. How did this small regional team ascend to the top of Russian football and spend millions on huge names along the way? Moreover, how did it collapse so quickly to the point where the club ceased to exist in 2022? Well, that is the truth we hope to uncover here today. Located in the volatile Republic of Dagestan, Anzhi Makhachkala played a minor role in Russian football for much of their history. However, in 2011, this changed when billionaire Suleiman Kerimov purchased the club and turned it into one of the wealthiest clubs in the world. From the start, it was clear something shady was going on, with reports suggesting Kerimov had been given the club for free by Dagestani president Magomedsalam Magomedov. Kerimov was an oligarch who made his fortune during the collapse of the Soviet Union. By 2008, his net worth had increased to $21 billion, thanks to his huge stakes in companies like Gazprom and Uralkali. Kerimov is also no stranger to politics and has close ties to the Kremlin, having been a member of the State Duma from 1999 to 2007. He is currently a member of the Federation Council, the upper house of the Russian parliament, a post which he has held since 2008. Using these links, Kerimov was essentially gifted Anzhi on the notion that building a strong football team would help unify the region, which had been plagued by war and religious extremism. He was planning to invest over $200 million in infrastructure, of which a substantial amount would go into building a new stadium with a capacity of more than 40,000 spectators, which would meet all UEFA requirements in what would be a first for the region. Kerimov also wasted no time investing in his playing squad. The club brought in a huge number of players, including big names like Yuri Zirkov, Roberto Carlos, Willian, and most notably, three-time Champions League winner Samuel Eto'o, who signed from Inter Milan on a world record €20 million annual salary. Across 3 transfer windows, Anzhi had spent over $200 million in transfer fees alone, far outspending rivals like Zenit St. Petersburg and the Moscow-based clubs. Initially, there were signs that Kerimov's big spending was working. In the 2011-12 season, under former Chelsea and Real Madrid manager Gus Hiddink, the club achieved a 5th-place finish in the league, which qualified them for the Europa League. The following season saw a 3rd-place finish, meaning Anzhi just missed out on qualification for the Champions League. In the Europa League that season, they finished 2nd in their group, but were eliminated in the round of 16 by Newcastle, after having previously beat Hanover 96 in the round of 32. Despite the clear signs of progress, Kerimov had had enough of pouring money into the club and winning no trophies in return. Huge budget cuts were announced in the summer of 2013, resulting in a fire sale of the all-too-recent big money signings. Many of the club's star players stayed in Russia and moved to rival clubs such as Dynamo Moscow. Meanwhile, Willian and Eto'o were both sold to Chelsea. The budget cuts and subsequent sales resulted in Anzhi performing very poorly in the 2013-14 season. They finished last and were relegated, having amassed a record low of 3 wins and 20 points, making them the worst last-place team in all of Europe that season. Anzhi bounced between the Russian Premier League and the country's 2nd division for a few years before failing Russian Football Union licensing for the 2019-20 season, making them ineligible to play in the top 2 divisions. On the 26th of June 2019, Anzhi confirmed that they had received a license to play in the Russian Professional Football League for the 2019-20 season. This was the 3rd tier of Russian football, a far cry from the Europa League knockout rounds they were competing in just a few years earlier. Their 2019-20 squad mostly included the under-20 players who played for their youth team, with most first-team players moving to other professional teams. In June 2022, the club was finally put out of its misery when it failed to obtain the license needed to compete in the 3rd tier. This resulted in a loss of its professional status, and the club played its last game on the 5th of June 2022. As for Suleiman Kerimov, he actually sold the club back in 2016. In April 2018, the United States imposed sanctions on Kerimov under the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. He was further sanctioned by the US, UK, and EU in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and is now estimated to be worth approximately $11 billion, down nearly half of what he was worth at his peak in 2008. That is all for today's video. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and always remember to stay true